The fourth secret is
the money factor. The
money.
money factor.
Okay.
The Bible talks about the Proverbs 31 woman being wise with money. The Proverbs 31 woman going out and selling merchandise, buying merchandise, taking care of her family. Her husband calls her blessed. Her children arise and call her blessed also. This is contrary to the contemporary, it appears, woman that we hear about that's a shopaholic. Whereas the Proverbs 31 woman is the type of woman that knows how to manage the household. That knows if the man gives her $1,000, she may be able to flip it to $2,000. So that money factor is crucial in being able to have someone that knows how to manage the house wisely. You give her your paycheck and you don't have to worry about being broke the next couple of weeks. You know that everything is going to be taken care of because this woman has wisdom on knowing how to deal with money, knows how to find sales, knows how to find good deals, knows how to make the money stretch, knows how to invest the money, knows how to look for the future. So this is what we're looking at in the money factor.
So you're saying she might want to study some Wall Street journals?
Might want to study some Money Magazine, Wall Street Journal, most definitely.
Okay, number 5. Let's go on. Let's keep it going.
Number 5 is the conversation factor. One of the things that we often hear is that women love to talk. And that's true. With women, we often hear that women love to talk. But talking and conversation are two different things. And oftentimes, when a woman is upset, she's going to shut down the communication. So we often hear that the men don't communicate, but actually, from the point of view, from what I've heard and what I've experienced, it's that person who we always hear who is a great talker, but not a great communicator. Sometimes when you're upset, that's the time to let a person know to communicate what the problem is instead of holding it in and becoming maniacal, becoming enraged, and giving what we call the silent treatment. These are some of the things that we experience as men, the silent treatment, and this gives place to the devil. The Bible says, let not the sun go down on your wrath. And when you are upset and when you're not communicating, then that is very detrimental to a relationship. You look at any person who you may have been involved with in the past, and the reason why there's a gap that exists right now is because communication was ended.
Yeah, I've heard always that if there's the T's, they say no talking, no touching, no time, your relationship is in trouble. You know, so I hear what you're saying. They're talking, but they're not conversing, is what you're saying.
Join Pastor Dr. Lasimba Gray and the New Sardis Baptist Church family Sunday mornings at 8 and 11 a.m. at 7739 East Holmes Road here in the beautiful city of Memphis, 38125. Come experience a church that is life-focused, Bible-based, and Christ-centered with a mission and message. In search of a church home or somewhere just to enjoy the move of God? Join us at New Sardis Baptist Church. For more information, contact us at 754-3979.
All right, number 6.
The friendship factor. Men, we pay close attention when women often say, well, you know, there's a lot of women on my job and I can't get along with women. You know, all of my men, all of my friends are men. So a red flag goes up with that, because a man thinks, okay, especially in the church, you're supposed to be a woman of God. You know, who can a woman of God get along with? So that should not even be said from a woman of God. I can't get along with somebody. Truly. A woman of God should be able to get along with anybody. Now, that's not to be naive and say that people may not like the woman of God, but still, a woman of God should not ever have to open up out of her mouth saying that she can't get along with other women and I don't like to be around women. I really like all men as my friend. The first thing that man is going to think is, that's a freak. You know, that's why she likes to be around all men. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that man is going to naturally come into his mind, because what man wants his woman around all men all the time? You know, that's just not logical. That's living in a fantasy world. No man wants his woman to have all male friends. That is not the case. I've never experienced that, and I don't know if you've ever experienced that a man would say it's okay for his woman to have all male friends. I've never heard of that.
And vice versa as well. I don't like a man who has too many women friends.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Sisters. But yeah, right. Okay. Sisters.
It makes perfect sense. But you understand what we're talking about.
I understand.
It works both ways.
Oh, yes, it does.
So it's something that's very, very interesting that I think that women, you know, need to grow out of that argument that I can't get along with women. Women, I mean, you are a woman of God. You have the Holy Spirit. You are a peacemaker. God will make your enemies your footstool. You ought to be able to subdue the enemy through prayer. We ought to be able to intercede and build relationships and not destroy relationships. So this is something that I think that we need to get out. And I'm glad that you have this platform that is getting out.
Yes, I hope the women are appreciating it as well. And I know some of you may be saying, what, that's the same way we feel about men. But it's okay, we'll debate that later. Right now, we're going to let him have his side, his say. Number 6 was the friendship factor. And the 7th secret is?
The 7th factor is the inactivity factor. Men are very active, athletic. We like to be on the run. And you want to have a companion who is likewise. You want somebody that does more than go to work and go to sleep, tired and drained. You have to have hobbies. You have to have a life. You have to have something outside of just watching television, watching the news, and going to sleep. Have some hobbies. Have some things that excite you. Then you won't be so codependent upon that man. You have a lifestyle, and that man now becomes interested in knowing about your day. After a while, you're with somebody, just saying what goes on at your job, that plays out after a while. But if you have hobbies, if you have other interests, if you have books that you are reading, information that you can share, these things help keep the relationship going strong. These help keep you learning, and it keeps you growing as an individual. And one of the things that I've seen oftentimes is that in relationships, often one person outgrows the other person. And we talk about the interest change. It's because, one of those people are not striving. They're not learning. And you can learn outside of just going to college. You can study. There, you can go to the bookstore. Always try to read a book off the New York Times top 10 bestseller list. And at least browse through that list so you can have a conversation piece. It's all about having that knowledge base, having more information that you can relate to people, more information that you can communicate with people on. And it keeps you an interesting person. Because anybody you deal with after a period of time, if both of you are not learning and not growing, then you're going to know everything about one another. And what interests people a lot of times in other people is that, hey, this person seems interesting. Well, you don't have to lose your interest. You can stay interesting. You can stay a learning creature. You can keep growing. You can keep evolving. You don't have to say, well, I have a college degree and that's it, because we often say knowledge right now, it was 24 months, but now knowledge doubles every 16 months. So you're talking about your college degree is outdated because knowledge is growing rapidly. I turned around and noticed the other day, Starbucks, they have these Wi-Fi hotspots. Well, that was a big thing two years ago, but right now Wi-Fi is dead because you have now Verizon and Sprint. They have the PC cards where there's internet on their laptop 24 hours a day. So you don't even really need Wi-Fi anymore. Hotels don't need Wi-Fi anymore. So if you don't learn and continue to grow, then you're going to be as outdated as the dinosaur, as outdated as Wi-Fi. And they just came out 2 years ago.
Okay, the 7th secret, the inactivity factor. The 7th secret, women, you got to stay active. Keep them on their toes, Make them keep wondering where you are and what you're doing, right?
Indeed.
And be interested. Keep them interested in you. Number 8, the 8th secret is?
The motherhood factor. The motherhood factor is very important. We're in a day and age now where people are getting together and married and they're coming into relationships with families already. So a man, he pays attention to how that woman, how she interacts. She may not have any children, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have a love for children. A man is paying attention how that woman interacts with children, how she's interacting with youth, because he's thinking about his child just like a woman may be thinking about her child. Women, they're thinking about if they have children, hey, I want to make sure this man, how he handles children. Does he have a love for children? Does he want to be around children? And men are the exact same way. Men, I don't know, there's a myth that men don't care about that, but men look for that as well, because you want to bring your child into a situation to where it's going to be happy, it's going to be wholesome, it's going to be user-friendly, if I can say. So you don't want to be in a situation where the woman is hostile to children. I mean, you hear about situations today where women kill the children, where they smuggle the children, they drown the children in the bathroom because they can't have their own children. So right now, you're looking to see how does that woman relate to children.